Texture time. Section 1, this is the brioche version only. We're going to use all 4 of the contrast colors, and you can arrange them in any order you like. From light to dark is recommended. Contrast color 1, 2, 3, and 4. Start using your main color. Cast on 5 stitches using any cast on you like. I'm going to use the long tail cast on. At the end of the cast on, slide all of the stitches over. So don't turn around. Slide the stitches over. Grab contrast color 1. Slip 1 purlwise. Knit 1. Slip 1 with a yarn over. The yarn comes forward as you slip the stitch purlwise. Knit 1, slip 1 with yarn and back. That was holding the yarn continental. If you're a right-handed knitter English style, you're still going to slip the first stitch, knit 1, slip 1 yarn over. Bring the yarn forward as you slip purlwise, and the yarn hops on the back as you knit 1. Slip the last stitch with yarn and back. Turn to work the wrong side. Knit 1, slip 1 with the yarn over. Brioche knit 1, the stitch and that contrast yarn over together. Slip 1 with a yarn over. Slip 1 with yarn in front. Slide the stitches to work the same side with contrast color 1. Slip the first stitch purlwise, brioche purl 1. Slip 1 with a yarn over, brioche purl, the stitch together with that yarn over. Slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Turn to work the next row right side with main color. Knit 1, yarn comes forward as you slip 1 with the yarn over, bark yarn over 8 bark. Brioche knit yarn over into the same stitch 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. If you're holding the yarn English style, knit, yarn over, knit into the same center stitch 8 total times. Brioche knit. This is the final brioche knit. So we have brioche knit yarn over 8 times, followed by 1 more brioche knit. So there should be 17 stitches coming from that 1 stitch. Bring the yarn forward to slip 1 with a yarn over, slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Slide all the stitches over to work the same side using contrast color 1. The yarn is in back, slip 1 purlwise, brioche purl 1, slip 1 with a yarn over, purl 1. Yarn forward to slip, purl 1. We're going to do that into all of these stitches sprouting from that center stitch. Slip 1 with the yarn over, purl 1. If you're holding the yarn in your right hand, purl 1, slip with a yarn over, purl 1. One more time, slip with a yarn over, purl 1, 8 total times, and now you should be at that last stitch as you slip brioche purl one, slip one with yarn in front. Turn around to work the next row with main color. Knit one, slip one with a yarn over, brioche purl, slip one with a yarn over. 9 times until you reach the last stitch. And slip that last stitch with yarn in front. Slide all the stitches to work the same side with contrast color 1. Slip one, and now we're going to brioche knit. Knit the stitch together with that yarn over. Slip one with the yarn over, brioche knit. Slip, brioche knit. If you're holding the yarn English style, yarn forward to slip, and brioche knit. Yarn forward to slip, and the yarn is fine where it is. Bring it around to brioche knit. Slip, and brioche knit. Yarn forward to slip, brioche knit. Bring the yarn forward as you slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Break the yarn, leaving a 6-inch tail. Place a split ring marker into the center stitch. Here's that large yarn over hole. There should be 9 knit columns sprouting from the center hole. So in that 5th knit column, place a split ring marker. So you have the same number of stitches to the right of the center stitch and the same number to the left of the center stitch. Now we're ready to work the pattern repeat with row 1, main color. Knit one, slip one with the yarn over, brioche purl. Slip one with the yarn over, brioche purl. Slip with a yarn over, brioche purl. This might feel a little funny because you're purling on top of the knit columns, but trust the pattern. We're brioche purling with the main color. Brioche purl, slip, yarn over, brioche purl. Slip, yarn over, brioche purl. Slip the last stitch with yarn in front and slide all the stitches to work the same side, row 1, with contrast color. Use contrast color 2. Leaving a 6-inch tail, slip the first stitch, brioche knit one, slip one with the yarn over, brioche knit. Slip, brioche knit. Slip, brioche knit. Continue following the instructions, working rows 1 through 6. After completing row 6 with contrast color 4, work row 7 with main color. Knit 1, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip to the center stitch. We're almost at the center stitch, that marked center stitch. And we're going to bark yarn over 8 times, bark. Brioche knit, yarn over, brioche knit, yarn over into the same center stitch 8 times. And a final brioche knit, resulting in 17 total stitches sprouting from the center stitch. Brioche knit, and the yarn comes forward to slip for you English style knitters. Brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, and slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Slide the stitches to work the same side, row 7, with the next contrast color. I just finished row 14, and there are 37 stitches on the needle. 2 big holes in the center, each hole followed by 4 contrast color stripes. Ready to work row 15 on the right side using the main color. Knit 1, slip 1 with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over 3 times. Now we're ready for the brioche left slanting decrease. Slip 1 knitwise, knit 2 together, you're including that yarn over strand, and slip 1 over that stitch. Decreasing 2 stitches, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit. I'll show that again for you right-handed English throwers. We're going to slip 1, slip the stitch and the yarn over together. Knit 2 stitches together. It's really 3 strands of yarn, but it's counted as 2 stitches including that yarn over. Pass the first stitch over. Yarn forward to slip, brioche knit. Slip 1, brioche knit. Brioche knit 1, slip 1 yarn over to the center stitch. Here's the marked center stitch. Brioche knit, yarn over 8 times into the same stitch. And one final brioche knit, resulting in 17 stitches. Slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over to last 11 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to slip 1 more stitch. Now we're going to brioche right slant decrease. Slip 1 knitwise, knit 1, pass the stitch over, slip the stitch to the left needle, and pass the stitch and its yarn over shawl over that stitch. Slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit. For you English right-handed throwers, I'll show that to you again. Slip 1 knitwise, knit 1 stitch, pass the slip stitch and its yarn over, slide that stitch to the left needle and pass both strands over, slip it back to the right needle. Lots of movement going on. Slip 1 with the yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over 3 times. slip that last stitch with yarn in front. Slide all the stitches to work the same side with contrast color. If it helps you keep track of the decreases in this pattern repeat, you can place a stitch marker after the first 8 stitches. A stitch marker can go right before that decrease. There's the decrease. Place it before. And you might want to place a stitch marker before the last 8 stitches of the right side. There's a stitch marker going before the decrease. Right there. Those are all the techniques for the brioche version. Check the Ravelry group for more photos and details of section 1, and continue watching for the non-brioche version. Welcome to section 1 of Texture Time for the non-brioche version. We're going to use the main color and 4 contrast colors, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Start section 1 using the main color. Cast on 5 stitches using any cast on you like. Turn around to the wrong side. Knit 1, purl 1 twice. Slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Continue using the main color for the next row, right side. Knit 1, purl 1. Knit yarn over 8 times into 1 stitch. Knit yarn over, knit yarn over, knit yarn over 8 times into the same stitch. And once you've done that 8 total times, knit 1 final stitch, resulting in 17 stitches sprouting from the center stitch. Purl 1, slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Turn to work the wrong side. Knit 1, knit 1, purl 1 to the last 2 stitches. Next row, right side, use contrast color 1. Leave a 6-inch tail as you join contrast color 1. Knit 1, knit 1, purl 1 to last 2 stitches, and slip the last stitch with yarn in front. After you've slipped the last stitch with yarn in front, turn to work the wrong side with contrast color 1. Knit 1, purl 1 to the last stitch, slip that last stitch with yarn in front. When you're done with the wrong side, slipping the last stitch with yarn in front, go ahead and break contrast color 1, leaving a 6-inch yarn tail. We'll deal with all those yarn tails later in the project. Mark the center stitch with a split ring marker. The center stitch should be the 9th stitch sprouting from that large hole. There's the center stitch. There should be the same number of stitches to the right and to the left of the center stitch. I just finished row 12, ready for row 13 on the right side, and all 4 contrast color stripes are in there. If you want, you can take that split ring marker that marks the center stitch and move it on up, so that you're still marking the center stitch, but it's a little closer to your needle. Row 13, using main color, knit 1, purl 1 to center stitch. knit 1, purl 1. Here's the center stitch. We're going to knit yarn over 8 times into the center stitch. If you're an English style thrower, knit, wrap the yarn around the needle, to knit again, yarn over, 8 total times. And knit 1 final stitch into that center stitch. So you have 17 stitches coming from the center stitch. Purl 1, knit 1 to last 2 stitches, purl 1, slip the last stitch with yarn in front. Those are all the special techniques used in section 1 of the non-brioche version. Don't forget to share your progress in the Ravelry group.